semifinals. More Dota 2 action here for the TI8 qualifiers. The Chinese regionals are going into Game 2 of IG FTD, and we're back with a beautiful panel. A good Game 1, boys. Feels like this this playoff is already off to a better start than the group stage.
I agree. It looked good. Close game, too. I felt like both teams had their chances. I thought, actually, Radiant was going to take it, but no.
Oh. I was looking at it, and we talked about like the inability for them to burst somebody during the lasso, but there was also like the inability just to kill anybody on the Dire team.
Yes, that was an issue, it turned out.
And then it was like, it was not just the bog, it was like the blob, the amorphous blob that just like walks down a lane and then eventually takes all your buildings. And it's like, what do you do? What you gonna do against that?
It felt like they definitely were going to rely on some storm pickoffs, and those just didn't happen.
Yeah.
The 5-man came way too early.
It was crazy because they kind of flubbed the Roshan fight, yet right after they lost the Roche fight and lost Aegis right away, they just 5-man down mid and took 2-3. Like, do they really need an Aegis for that?
No.
And I feel like they could have done it earlier because they went this like double hood, and they had hood on both their cores, and it was like they weren't fighting. You don't buy hood to push. I mean, you kind of build it to push towers, but you want to actually be fighting with it.
Yeah.
They were just trading farm. So I actually felt like FTD were better off because of that. You're trading farm with a lineup that's going to scale better, has these farming items, but it didn't really work that way because they were just so unkillable.
And they were holding that lead with all those towers being, like, they were at like a 5-tower deficit or something. It's still up on net worth, and you're like, okay, this still looks kind of okay for Radiant.
And experience, it was like 8,000.
It was
Oh,
nuts.
yeah,
like, the experience was nuts.
The 5-man Dota is crazy.
Yeah.
I have this theory about Chinese Dota, and what it is that because pubs, it's always 5 versus 5 fighting, they build these items because they're like, okay, we need to be ready for this to happen. And then both sides are like, oh, they already have those items, so then they don't fight. So it's like nobody wants to play greedy because they're afraid they're just going to get ran over.
Oh, yeah. And that kind of sums up that game. Even FTD didn't need to fight, but they still went and took those Roche fights. I feel like those were times where they could just be pushing out side lanes and then just fighting into Aegis, but it's this thing newbie started, the China Roches, where you walk into Roche in plain sight because you just want to fight. You feel like, we're stronger, let's walk into Roche and let them know we're here. Like, ring the bells and just sound the team fight. And they get those team fights. So
situations like that, it just feels like Undying is actually the perfect hero. So many of those engagements, like you jump on the DK, I've got a mech, I've got Soul Rip, I've got Tombstone, and then we're going to turn this around once I pop Flesh Golem and make my DK do even more damage. It's you couldn't ask for more from a hero.
He's the hero, man. He's a quality guy to play. He's got some issues early on, though.
I like it when Undying looks good because I love Undying, and I feel like maybe 80% of the time I see it in a draft and think, this Undying is going to struggle. And usually it ends up being right. But games like that, the Undying is just...
that's an Undying game plan. That's what that is.
Exactly.
Sometimes
that's what I'm saying.
Undying
it's
doesn't
good.
have the game plan to go with the draft.
Yeah, you need it.
Yeah, his allies were in on this one, though. He was taking along for the Undying ride. So.
Looks like we'll have Game 2 loading in pretty quickly here. I'm curious to see if FTD switch things up. It's clear that IG have reworked their game plan a little bit and playing with much more purpose.
Liked it.
Maybe a dose of reality there going through the tiebreakers.
Maybe they saw that KP tweet where he's like, are you allowed to have coaches just like directing you during the game? and then everyone's like, well, I mean, you're not, but no one can stop you from doing it. And IG's like, oh my God, this whole time we just need someone to yell at us. Tell us what to do.
Go for the buildings.
Yes, I'm insinuating they're cheating. No, obviously that is not what they would do. Because IG is an honorable organization that's been around forever.
Yeah.
Who would tarnish their
I don't actually think there's tournament rules against. I don't know what the rules are.
I think there's rules. I would assume.
I always thought it was one of those things that it's on LAN, and then when you're not on LAN, it's impossible to enforce, and you're doing yourself a disservice because if you're relying on your coach to call shots and then you qualify for a LAN and that person's gone, it's like training with weights but opposite. You know.
I think it's generally assumed no one does it.
I think exactly. I don't think anyone's doing because it's just not good practice. We did get linked the TI rulebook so we can have a check.
Oh, hey, that's nice.
There you go.
Because I know for our tournaments, we don't put that rule in there because it's like, why put in a rule you can't enforce? It just seems silly. Like,
true.
We'll
I mean, you could say the same thing about watching the stream, though, and that rule's put in.
But the stream is delayed. That's the
but I mean, you still can't watch a delayed stream. Still.
Still
you can still pause the game and then see where wards are, for example. That's true.
Yeah. And the delay is not as long as ward durations.
So but again, it's
not value.
Like you guys were saying, it's doing yourself a disservice because that means you're not going to play as well when you actually go to the event.
Yeah, but I want last place TI, not going to lie. I'll take that tournament.
You know, Trent,
I'm very happy.
If we watched the delayed streams in real time, we would not be able to win the game anyways.
I would hope not. or else this would not be very professional. So it would, you know, we're at that melee level. You know, those melee games.
Those
earlier.
melee games.
Yeah. All right. Well, game number 2 on the way.
Yeah, we got a draft coming soon for you guys.
I'm looking forward to this.
I can tell you, for the Dream, we're ready to go. They were in that lobby. They were like, go, 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 go. James just put like 6 Gs, so they're shaking it off.
They're hungry for blood.
Yeah, they're feeling fine.
They have a new game plan, maybe.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Maybe not go for double Bloodstone. It seemed like that was a little high risk, high reward. Once that snowball starts to melt, oof. That's
gone.
rough, dude. Once you're both in single-digit Bloodstone charges, you're sitting there like, you know, imagine if one of those wasn't a Bloodstone.
Well, sometimes you end up with Lesh and Storm, and that's just the life, man.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to help myself to some pizza in a bag. Don't mind me.
Pepperoni pizza in a bag.
I'm going to get some coffee.
One of them had a bite out of it, so I just ripped off another part of it.
You're an animal.
Just so you know.
Well, yeah.
It tastes like pizza out of a bag. It is very true.
Exactly what you think it would be.
Yeah, it's...
The pepperoni pizza tastes just... Yeah, pepperoni pizza.
Yeah, it's kind of
Truth in
weird. It's
advertising.
freaky. Yeah, it's very good. Like,
Does it have a jerky taste to it? Because it's like it's jerky though.
It's just pizza.
Because I'm not a big jerky fan, but that's pizza.
No, it's literally just pizza.
Hop on
Yeah.
the pizza
It's
in
just
a
like a
bag.
different texture. It's like the same texture as jerky, but it's pizza.
There's a slight jerky. I'd say 10% jerky.
10%? I can give you 5.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's a
That's all I
deal.
can
That's
do.
a deal right there.
Yeah.
That's some good odds.
Yep, Trent's been training to open up a pawn shop.
Yeah, I do what I can. I want to get one of those Pawn Star shows, you know?
Trent Stars.
Yeah.
The problem is he's too generous. So.
Yeah, it's
They-
a failing business.
Yeah, all the simulations we've ran, we've gone belly up after 2 months because they just keep giving the shit away.
You look like a nice guy. I'll give you a good deal on it. That's the way it works.
All right, well.
Chen Beastmaster banned.
The Venomancer banned out. Look at that. FTD, do not want to deal with the sticky, icky Veno.
Getting out of the quicksand.
Not playing in
Banning
the
the
ball.
Veno. Yeah.
And Lycan ban, similar thing too. It's like these guys want to push towers. Let's not let them.
I think the Naga is definitely worthy of a ban here. Oh, the Iowa's still in. Okay, well, there you go. So
Sure.
I would feel fine just going right back for the Naga. If I was IG, we're on the same sides, same picks here once again now. Going to game 2.
You could probably take you can give up the Naga and not play a draft where you need to find those pickoffs maybe. Play like a different style of Dota. Because I felt like Naga was often one of the big problems that they ran into in that draft, but they're going to go Lesh.
Yeah, this is kind of nice. It breaks it up so that FTD can't get the same opener that they've been so consistently comfortable with, the SK Leshrac.
Yep.
They've gone for that more often than not, so it does force a change already.
All right, I got to ask Andrew. What is the appeal of drinking from the glass rather than the can?
Because I mixed it with water.
Oh,
He's got a long night.
This is a 50-50 Monster Zero. Is that what it's called? The Monster Absolutely Zero and
okay.
water.
So you don't want the full thing. You don't want to crash too early.
Yeah, and it's it's like an old drinking strat where you have a mixed drink and then a water and a mixed drink and a water.
Okay.
I'm executing that just in one cup. You know?
Efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you.
I mean, athletes do it as well. They get Gatorade and then they mix it with water, so it's like more hydrating but still some electrolytes. That's what I got here. It's
You're an athlete.
The Zyori special.
Simple as that.
Yep.
After hours, you drop a little goose in there and you've got yourself a real adult beverage.
So you get the water,
that's the
the
next
alcohol, and
sponsorship.
the energy. Then.
Yes,
Then you're getting all
exactly.
3 necessary
Dude,
ingredients.
efficiency.
I think FTD, we're not expecting the Leshrac pick, guys.
I know, they're
just a
taking a
guess
little
here.
while. That's like half
their
their reserve
drafter
time.
is still connected.
Yep,
I
no
can
DCs.
confirm.
They wanted.
They wanted
were-
Lesh Sand King.
Yeah, probably. They thought there was going to be first pick Naga again, and they were going to do something.
Someone's saying Naga Jakiro and someone's saying like Night Stalker +1. I feel like. And which one are we going for?
I feel like the Naga Disruptor is also better with Lesh there as well.
Whoa. First pick Clock. We have not seen that very much. We've seen a couple of Clock bans. I feel like we've talked about potential Clock picks a lot.
Yeah.
But Dirt have not seen him first pick material. This is exciting.
He got a little bit of a nerf, right? With he lost 4 base damage, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Wow, Clock PL. So they
First
take
2 PL into a Leshrac? Is that a thing?
that is very unique.
What?
That would be the phrase.
The dream might be dead.
So if you guys haven't seen a lot of games lately, Leshrac does tend to be picked up against PL. to help get rid of his illusions. You could also argue that if you have a clock where people take PL every time, so you've denied that away because you can just doppelganger out of the cogs and everything, you're essentially completely ineffective with illusions there. You do nothing as clockwork. So there's that element of it, but damn.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
It's bold, and we've definitely seen games where PL gets punished. You know, we've talked a lot about heroes with power curves, and they just go right into a life stealer.
Okay, so we see your core. We're comfortable taking our core. We can save our support picks.
Is there anything that PL gives you that that you would want against the Lesh, I guess? Like, because that's the one aspect of it, right? You clear out the illusions, but is like the laning stage better or something?
I mean, it kind of goes both ways in terms of like that whole like gyro Lycan. It's kind of reminiscent of that. Like if a PL gets on top of you and he's at that mid game like power spike thing, and Leshrai doesn't have that many items, he just dies.
Okay.
Like a Lycan versus gyro, whereas the gyro has items though, and he pops flat cannon, and Lycan all his shit just blows up.
There's definitely windows. You know, PL with mana burn. Once he gets diffusal manta, and once he gets a BKB, Lesh is not having a good time. But I think the general thought process is Lesh is so good early on when PL is weak, you can delay the diffusal, and that messes up all of his timings, and then he becomes a lot more manageable in the mid-game.
I guess it makes you want to run the Lesh core, and that's Clockwork is pretty good against that too, like Blade Mail Carrier.
It's almost like a bait out, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, go ahead, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't seen very many good Lesh core games, personally. Haven't really been feeling it in the qualifier.
Yeah.
But Lifestealer, I mean, in terms of other first phase picks, not a very common one that we see all too often.
We'll be looking for some sort of Infest Bomb carrier. Brewmaster is definitely a good one. One you'll see rush a Blink Dagger. Who else does the Lifestealer like?
I think like you're thinking about those Storms and Queens, probably. I think more so like the mid heroes and the offlaners these days with our aura builders.
Yeah, like
some like Nyx like heroes too. You can always go for.
Yeah.
Go for the classic.
I mean, Sand King is still in, and Sand King's good against Clockwork, decent against PL, and combos well with Leshrac. So.
You know, depending on how FTD round out these next two picks, it could potentially be a Storm game for Invictus this go around, and they could do the Storm Lash. Show them how it's done.
Yep, it is feasible. I don't think I'd want that as a dual core, but who knows what a game like that would look like. Storm and Leshrac. I mean,
Storm,
that wouldn't happen.
Stealer, all three.
There you go. Let's do it. I like the idea of Slardar too, kind of. Maybe not against Clockwork. It's kind of rough.
And against PL, it's
kind
of rough.
PL just doppels and.
All right, back out.
That level 25 undispellable. There you go.
There.
You can see the real one. That's the real strat.
Yeah, I think Sand King feels a little more conventional, but Slardar is like a poor man's Sand King.
Okay.
He's got some AoE stuns. He gets a Blink Dagger, but I think Sand King is just a little more versatile, gives you a bit more.
He's better overall for sure.
Yes.
But Slardar's got his friends, you know, those physical traps.
Yeah, Slardar's kind of unique in that he's a damage amplifier. That's something that there's only few of in Dota.
That's true. Oh, DP ban. Okay.
That's been a good hero for XXS. So. All right.
Dream pick.
So probably your 3 with a position 4 Clockwork. Looking for a mid and a position 5.
We have seen a couple of Dooms 4, which have been a little bit funky. If they want to try and get like an early Blade Mail, if they think it's a core Lash for the clock.
10 seconds remaining.
Does Doom lane that well against Lifestealer? I feel like that's not like a
not amazing. Especially with like the nerfs to the sword and everything. But I mean, you can lane against anyone if you get the right creep.
That's true.
So
yeah.
They roll the dice.
There are definitely heroes that Doom cripples more than Lifestealer.
Yeah. That's what I have to do here.
Sand King still just feels like the hero. I don't think you. I think you just want to see like one more. I mean, then again, you're only going to get to see the 5 anyway.
Well, I guess the issue is then you're putting Lesh into a 5 position when they may want Lesh 4. I say that they pick Dark Willow. Whoa. What do they have in store with this? Could be a 4, could be a 5.
Wow.
Don't think anyone runs this as a core anymore.
Dark Willow. Advantages here.
Very surprised. I'm having trouble visualizing. I guess it is really good early game AoE with the Lesh where you're just clearing illusions with Bedlam. Lightning, like it ain't no thing.
They want to escape from people, I guess. Like
strong laner. PL, you can no longer doppelganger out of roots, so Dark Willow has a pretty good root.
Okay.
theoretically, even if you like try and doppelganger away, if there's a bramble there, you don't really know where your real PL is going to land, so you may just doppel into a rune.
That is true.
I feel like Terrorize is pretty good. Whoa, I love this.
Shadow Demon.
This is awesome. Purge the core Leshrek. No Yules for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
If that's
And against Lifestealer. Oh, it's amazing. I love this pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So also helps set up for like a Clockwork to roam into. Assuming it's positioned for Clockwork, you can just like disrupt, and then Clockwork comes out of the trees and puts the cogs, the battery assault on someone.
Yep.
Dark Willow, I don't know. I'm really curious how this game's gonna go for her. Her Terrorize looks like her best ability for this game.
Yeah, early game, she's a strong laner, but just so cooldown reliant.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's kind of feels like a strong laner sometimes, but you use like one spell
And then
that's it.
Just Dunzo, and you're right clicking.
Yeah. I want to see IG get some like vision hero so that the way they can find the Shadow Demon. Because if he's allowed to get like disruptions off for saves, if he can get like the purges off on Lifestealer, like Lifestealer just won't have a game. Like a Beastmaster's already banned out.
I think we're gonna see some sort of like Dark Willow and maybe Leshrac lane together. Yeah, and they go back for that Storm, so they don't want to be banned out. So that's probably our Tricore is Lesh, Lifestealer, Storm.
Do you think the Lesh is playing 3 position then?
I think so. I think they're gonna do it like an S4 style, but
Okay. I could see Willow being a 5. Like, Willow Lifestealer seems like an okay lane to me.
yeah, that's true. And then we just pick a better off laner too. And
Yeah.
don't necessarily go all into Leshrac.
That's kind of what FTD have in mind with the Tide ban.
Yeah.
Feels like a pretty okay Storm pick, though. Doom, obviously, pretty good against Storm, but one of these games where you can't Doom everybody, so someone's going to be able to run free and do a lot of damage, and just not a lot of traditional lockdown for this Storm Spirit.
I'd like to see a Clock SF from FTD. Just
good
kidding.
call.
Yeah.
IG don't want to see that.
Smart ban.
Not that for you.
Oh, the final choice that will reveal these lanes. Any other good off-laners still available?
LC could be pretty good against PL. There is the disruption save, though, against the Jewel, but I think it's still a decent hero.
They definitely have
It would
follow-up
put
burst
them
damage.
super hard on like gank stuff though, and okay, they eventually go back for the SK.
And right away into the Templar Assassin.
Oh.
FTD really
Alrighty.
switching things up here.
TA versus Lifestealer should be pretty good.
So
the lane matchup against the Storm is fine as well.
Pretty good.
You can like quad stack with Shadow Demon, depending upon how that goes later on for the TA.
I
Maybe.
don't know if he's been practicing that, though.
That's true. It takes a little bit.
I don't know. I like the IG draft a little more. I think it's just easier for them to play around their reliable stuns in the mid game, like the SK Lesh with a Willow and then Infest Bombs on top. Like they have a lot of ways to enable their Lifestealer and Storm Spirit to get kills. FTD is certainly possible, but a lot of single target, like a lot of execution kind of heroes.
I think they're the drop that wants to, you know, kind of snowball early. They have this TA who's kind of mid-game hero, and PL wants to come online before Lifestealer Radiance. I want to say normally Lifestealer's going Radiance against PL. You may go Armlet first. If you can hit this timing where PL has Diffusal, your TA's got Deso Blink, take Roche, take Towers, and get a big lead, that's where FTD can kind of win this game.
Yeah, Shear's kind of on the other foot this time, right? Pressure for FTD, so we'll wave goodbye to our
I'm just
panelists
going to say,
here.
if
Oh,
Shadow
please
Demon
do.
gets a quad stack, they win the game. That's all I got to say.
That bold predictions. Toodaloo.
All right. I'll be very surprised if they do it, but I'm looking to see it. I am down.
Absolutely. So like we mentioned, FTD technically the top seed as IG ended up the 4th seed in this group stage playoff. I guess we're out of the group stage into the playoffs. It was a weird way to say that.
Thank you.
But they lead the series 1-0. It's a best of 3, no elimination, but if you win this, you are one best of 3 victory away from qualifying for TI, so certainly a lot on the line. At the end of our 3 best of 3s tonight, one of these Chinese squads will be crowned a spot at the International 8 in Vancouver for big money. What's that prize pool, like 15 mil right now, Trent?
I don't know. I don't keep track of those things. Money's not important, guys. Money's
Yeah,
a
that's
trap.
right. They're playing
We
for
do it for
pride
the spirit
here.
of Dota. They do it for the ages.
So we've got our toggled assist cam with us here, and I fixed the minimap icon, so they're all going to be big and fluffy for the whole time.
Yay!
I did some research.
Way to go, buddy. Look at you.
So what do we got here, Trent? James? Taunting?
Yeah, I'm not sure where I land on these drafts. I'm really curious to see how the Dark Willow does. Obviously a hero that's been largely ignored after having a brief period of what seemed like extremely strong times. I do like the fact that she's doing like this Orb of Venom stuff. I feel like that's where the hero fits in now, is he's like ranged, annoying support hero, either in the 5 or the 4. So that feels pretty good. And we'll be into the, looks like PL and Shadow Demon.
All right, a couple of swaps moving around, but it will be TA Storm in the mid. Lesh going to run through. He'll head up to the top lane. Meanwhile, SRF and James kind of trading blows. Clockwork still continuing to taunt. Got to get in their heads, Trent.
Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't feel that great for Sanking either. He's just wandering around. And so Bubka will go bottom, and we will get our Lesh Sanking up top. Not sure how they're going to spread the farm here. If it looks like it's obviously going to be SRF getting the majority of it.
Yep.
We'll see.
Early rotation costing IG a little bit. The Lifestealer just now arriving to lane. Well, not ideal for him, but James will also come settle down. So it's a Clockwork Doom safe lane against that Lifestealer. Meanwhile, up top, it's the PL Shadow Demon against the old classic, the SK Lesh. And Raji, well, he's feeling the heat already. He went Shadow Poison level 1, so no save for himself. The right click starting to mount up. There is a Mango, a Burrow Strike. Raji in a lot of trouble, and Q gets that first blood with a splitter.
Really important kill to get here too, because they're coming into a lane where, as you were mentioning, they're at a disadvantage because the lanes were better scouted from FTD, so they got the matchups they wanted, which forced the rotations from IG. So just getting that first kill, getting some experience added onto you, try and balance it out a little bit here. Because like Doom's 2.5 when Aggressive's just hitting 2 right now.
Yeah, look at this. They're pulling the rotation now on the side of FTD. PL TP's down right away, and Beyond gonna rotate out of the lane. He's going to be the one to now just TP back up. So it's a Shadow Demon Doom in the off lane, hoping PL will be able to find a little more safety against the Willow Lifestealer.
Yeah, and when you're the team that was like the first mover as IG, where like they were the first ones to kind of like forced to rotate, you're just always on the back foot, but they might just clean this up into another one. SRF is wrapping behind with the Burrow Strike, and James is going down. Oh,
yep,
oh, he
trying
can't
to
get
TP.
in.
It's going to be close. SRF can't get there in time.
What?
Burrow Strike.
Tango and I guess he couldn't find the angle with the cogs.
Yep, it was kind of odd, but well done by the Clockwork. And it does keep him alive, but now PL is going to be all alone, so not the dream in terms of free farming. Meanwhile, up top, Aggressive, he's rotated now. So more musical lanes. IG just trying to mirror this and get the matchups they want.
Oh, man, you gotta be feeling pretty good of your FTD, man. Again, this whole like lane mirroring thing, it's so much time spent on the side lanes trying to get these matchups, and that just means mid is going completely ignored, as it does these days for the most part. But Templar Assassin already off to a great start. The Dire side Storm, not quite as close to the camps either.
Yeah, not ideal for XXS, but also not that bad, sort of like we talked about in the last match. Storm okay with these 1v1 stalemates. PL does go down in the bottom lane. Sorry about that one there, folks. The SK Lesh made the rotation, and just too much damage for the Phantom Lancer to handle. FTD not having a great time in these lanes, now struggling to figure out where they want to put the PL, and he will go back to the top, trying to just stay matched up against Aggressive. 5 seconds on his TP, so IG could once again just pull the lane switcheroo.
Yeah, for now they'll just kind of hang with it. I don't know. There's obviously just kind of this part of the game where we're looking for certain levels to stack up. You know, the first Doom will be we're trying to watch here. Maybe Clockwork getting to 6, and Sanking in the core role should be looking to get very aggressive early on in this one. Yeah, probably our big kind of trendsetter, tempo controller, as the kids say, for IG. Trying to make some infest plays happen with Aggressive, who heard GoDz discussing the item build questions. You never know what he's going to opt for. The Radiance against PL, always a classic. Maybe hoping to go there, but will he need to get an armlet based on how the game's going?
Whoa!
To help his Storm recover after getting owned in the mid lane.
I was going to say, I was just about to mention, this mid lane starting to get a little lopsided. Storm's a full level behind the TA, and that's a solo kill for the Templar Assassin now down bottom. Q in a lot of hurt. James with Battery Assault. Just about to finish him off. Sand King falls a little short with that Burrow Strike and not able to save the Leshrac.
Quickly getting 2 back here for FTD.
Yeah, 2 big ones. I'm glancing at that net worth, man. That TA is far and large, #1 on the charts and feeling pretty darn good. 34-16 compared to the 22-0 on the Storm Spirit.
Dude, XSS was just like dancing around in circles. He couldn't do anything. He's got no boots, and this TA is just throwing in the side blades. It is danger zone there.
Back up top, nice disjoint from the PL with the Doppelganger. Shadow Realm not able to connect.
Yeah, not the most reliable damage source here early on, but...
And, you know, despite all those rotations, the PL and Lifesteal are actually evenly farmed. Like, they're about mirrored with one another. And trading relatively evenly in this top lane.
You know, when Dark Willow first came out, bottom lane.
Yeah, Doom's getting dove here, and it looks like they'll probably be able to finish him off. Clockwork's starting to rotate, but Burrow Strike follow up there on the Split Earth, and they'll just go ahead and cancel the TP on the clock.
The initial strat for dealing with Dark Willow was Clockwork, because you could just hook and cog, and then if you got terrorized, you're still just stuck there battery salting her.
Perfect
great.
time to go in onto the Storm. He's not yet level 6, but the gank falls short, but Boca rotates, and Sand King connects with a stun off on the side, but James, so irritating with that level 2 battery assault. Now the cogs on the low ground, gonna be enough to keep himself alive.
Good save from IG. Obviously making sure that he's going to be able to get 6 here with the range creep going down.
Yeah.
Assuming that Love You won't be able to find the deny, but...
This is that point where you're like, guys, I lost mid. This is brutal. I need stacks. I need help. If he dives me, I need to survive. I cannot die again. Please. And they took heed to the call, Trent.
Bottom lane.
Stun onto the Doom, but Q still in a lot of trouble. The double damage from SRF just doesn't really seem to matter. The Infernal Blade now ticking the Sand King reasonably low. But Beyond won't commit too deep under the tower, despite having the Shockwave, Unholy Aura, compliments of that big Satyr. The Dream Creep for Doom in the laning stage.
Yeah. And SRF, though, hanging in here. He's top of the net worth for the Dire side right now. Feeling very good about his game. Super important hero for them. I think, once again, just like... He made it work with the Bat Rider, which gives me a lot of confidence, because I think it's harder to execute on the Bat Rider than it is on the Sand King. So if he has anything like his game last time, fairly high chances here for old IG.
Maybe looking for a setup onto PL. SRF not going for it.
And queued up now from aggressive. It is the Radiance. Seems to be the way he'll be going. Stock standard, not feeling that pressure for the armlet or anything here as he tries to drive Doom back a bit.
Yep, XXS in the jungle. This whole thing favoring FTD a lot. The Storm just working the jungle by himself, all the while TA farming her Ancients, giving space to Raji to get closer to level 6 in the mid lane. TA still farming very well, stacking for herself in the jungle, looking for that first item, Blink Dagger, now that she's got the power treads.
Yeah, Clock just got another Ancient stack down there for her as well, using the Flare too, so things looking great for Radiant here.
PL getting some farm in the bottom lane. 3 heroes of IG, both supports trying to protect aggressive. Very ambitious item build, I guess you could say. Radiance.
Yeah,
Long window of pooling
PL,
gold.
though,
It's great. But with Doom, with TA going Blink, as soon as that Clockwork's level 6, he is only level 4, although the Tome, rather, will be out in a minute and a half. They have a lot of ways to gank him and make his life difficult before he actually gets the Radiance. Like a great 4+1 alongside the PL.
Yeah, but with the Storm is one of the best infest carriers in the whole game, so he kind of like helps the Lifestealers early game. Like if he doesn't have those items, Storm can just try and go like treads, probably the Kaya into the Orchid. But
yeah, we'll see.
Just getting him moving with infest will try and get some kills onto either the Lifestealer or the Storm. You're happy with whoever gets the bounty, you know.
That's true. It's a much slower game for the Storm Spirit. Still struggling to get those treads at an okay time, leaving this mid lane completely open to whoever wants it. Now even a smoke from the Radiant behind the tower, but giving some lane priority to the Clockwork. And looking at the levels, TA is level 11.
Her
Next
blink
highest is Storm at level 8.
Yeah, her Blink's on the courier right now.
And he almost gets jumped on. Doom does have the ultimate available. But Storm makes it to the high ground.
They do not have any side pressure really going here. There's going to be a wave hitting top that's a full HP tower. It's missing 10 HP in the top lane, so no real threat of counter push from IG. And in fact, bottom lane, they're actually just able to try and put a little bit of damage onto PL, but he just doppelgangers back. So great moves here from the Radiant.
Oh, no.
They want to keep it going top.
James, he's going to get caught. They will use the Doom as a counterplay onto SRF. James actually lives through it. Pops the rocket forward, and now TA comes in. They finish off the Sand King. Q trying to make it back under tower, but the blink forward, the side trap, and even a Hadouken to follow up the kill and make it a double for Beyond. Clockwork, it gets both bounties. Actually just picks up one. They leave the other bounty standing. But heads back to friendly territory, ends up being a big turn for FTD.
Yeah, perfect rotation. They take mid like that, and they still want to fight. You just bought a Blink Dagger, and they find the fight by Clock just wandering up onto those bounty runes. So now they're going to start pressuring into this tower. Catapult wave here for Love You. And again, bottom lane, it's just like, I don't know, Dark Willow just doesn't do much before level 6.
Well, luckily for the Willow, she is halfway through 5, and there's the Tome. So that will be her level 6. But definitely feel you on that one, my friend. It hasn't really felt like Willow has a huge impact.
Top lane now, finally going down here, but there is a little bit of a wraparound here from SRF. He misses the burrow. So Beyond able to get off the Scorched Earth, try and create a little bit of gap here. There is a DD on the Storm Spirit, but Love You just hops right in and annihilates the Leshrac. No chance there for a save.
And now a Desolator going to be queued up for TA, not that far off. Pretty scary stuff.
That is real bad. Oh my god. All these kills, they just got like mid tower and then instantly in the top tower. And then all these kills on Templar Assassin. 2-0 and 2. That Desolator is going to be such an easy roast for them because they're not going to have anything to respond.
This is the dream scenario for a TA. You get that solo kill in lane. Outside of that, you're pretty much left alone. You get an early Blink Dagger, use it for successful rotations.
What's crazy though is there's someone actually happier than TA in this game.
Who?
Phantom Lancer.
You think so?
There's nothing better than being a hard farming hero like this who needs a little bit more space. And like this TA has a massive target on her back. Oh, that's a target hit there.
Yeah, that's a nice hook shot. James taking a lot of return damage. Bedlam's a hell of a spell, and Baboka gets one before he falls. SRF looking for the counter kill on the TA. The epicenter is there, but it might not be enough damage. Love You, Love Me, still alive, is now Doom, rotates in, drops it onto the Sand King.
Oh, he's gonna fight.
But still TA has to commit for it, and they will go 2 for 2. Clock TA for the Willow Sand King.
Oh, that is... okay, so here I said they were going to get the Deso, and then they wouldn't have an answer for the pit fight, right? But he got the bounty on the TA, so that's about 700 gold, and now there's going to be a Blink Dagger available for sure on the Sand King. This is where these like kill bounties can actually change the game so much. We saw yesterday when we had the Spectre who got the Ultra Kill, and it's just like, okay, suddenly Spectre, who wanted to build a Blade Mail, now gets to go Radiance.
Yeah. It's a game changer, and there it is. Blink Dagger picked up. So that's an Infest Bomb carrier for Aggressive. Opens things up for him a little bit, and seems you were totally right about this Radiance build. His team has been able to get some stacks going, make some space for him, and he's got 2,800 gold now towards the Relic, getting close to that first pit stop before he continues the quest for the recipe. Blade Mail coming next for Clockwork to go with his Urn. But in the meantime, some pressure on the Phantom Lancer. SRF with a nice initiation. Follow-up stun. Split Earth connects. Willow is there with a Terrorize. Bedlam, the double duo, and Q walks away with another kill. There was a PL there, Trent. I don't know if you saw him die. It happened pretty quick.
Yeah, no, he got annihilated. Good levels on Q there, so just able to follow up with the Split Earth. And another tip from SRF.
Oh.
He's helping out here. I think right now both teams have kind of what they wanted out of the first 13 minutes. I would say there's a slight edge to FTD, not just because there's a net worth lead, but just because TA's had a really good start.
I think she's gotten more. Like this exceeds expectations. Blink, Tread, Aquila, Deso at 14 minutes rather.
Yeah.
That's
if you're not ahead as TA though, like your game's just kind of over at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's very unlikely you're going to come back. So they've executed. Boca, he's coming in here. They have the Terrorize not available for 50 seconds. And only level 1 Bedlam, so any fight there would be on SRF. But he's showing bottom on the wave, so there's just no threat here for FTD. And they're just going to give up this Aegis and try and get a good trade tower-wise.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if IG are just not privy to the timing or if they've thought about this and have made that executive decision. We don't want to fight at the Roche Pit, especially if they have most of their cooldowns available. Doom coming up in about 5 seconds as XXS zips by, looking for the TP home, and he makes it. Close call with that Shadowblade Doom inbound. But makes some space for Roche, and TA picks up the Aegis. You know, it's an early Roche, but when that Desolator comes out on TA this early, you should really expect it. Defusal now very close to the PL, pretty much just a blade of alacrity, and he'll have it.
Yeah, really nice timings set up here from FTD. This just means that, like, if he gets this Defusal, he's going to be able to join into these Aegis fights where they want to push down tier 2s and completely secure that dire jungle, take that away from the Storm Spirit and away from the Lifestealer. So even if he gets into the Radiance, you're obviously you still want to farm a little bit more. You know, you want a couple more items going on here, get a Solar Crest or something. But Aggressive is into the Relic at this point.
Point blank hook shot onto Baboka. Cogs to push him back. Terrorize will connect on only the Doom. And then the Willow will get blown up. Another tip.
Yeah, they did use the hook shot already though, so XSS should be okay here. Oh, his TP still on cooldown. Ooh.
Still good jukes.
Yeah, that's still a very hard kill.
Yeah. Used to the ball lightning. Not sure.
I don't know what that says.
What that is.
But okay.
Sounds good.
Oh, jeez. Disruptor. Oh, he got him.
Whoa, Raji.
Doom is not there, though. He's going to try and catch where he zips to.
He's out of mana, though. He can't zip very far. Storm Spirit just needs to buy a little bit of time. Raji stacking up the damage. Maybe he can get this kill on Raji after all. Doom there just in the nick of time, and they'll finish him off. But wow, that one was closer than it should have been. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they did find a kill on the Leshrac, looks like. So 2 down on the side of IG, split across the map.
That's where you're extremely salty as a support if you die. It's like, come on, man, you wouldn't just Doom him. Help me out here, but it's okay. Shadow even made it through. You get to save the Doom cooldown. He still really wants that big Shadow Blade kind of invade play. And they are looking like they're in trouble for IG here. Kind of surprised it's only a 3K lead. Just does kind of show just how quickly they are farming on the heroes that aren't dying.
Mm-hmm. I think that's true. I also think the scales will tip a little bit for IG once that Radiance comes out. Lifestealer is now very close to it, 400 gold to go. And that is something you'll want to fight around, use those Infest Bombs maybe a bit more aggressively. Bottom lane, FTD continuing to put pressure on. Deso leading the charge. Of course, the Aegis still in tow for the TA. Glyph already been used. All right, no defense. They'll just take it as time to continue farming. Force staff also not far away for the Sand King.
I think there are definitely issues in terms of like how they initiate into these fights. Like, Baboka has looked pretty good. 1, 2, and 2 got himself a little bit involved so far, but early on, you know, you look towards these like crazy games from the old Dark Willow. You think about like the Blink Bedlam or something, and the damage doubles on Bedlam at level 12, so the early levels are pretty painful for her. It's all on SRF, and we've kind of known that this whole game, but this is the point where like they have that early lead on the TA, and if they're in this 5-man ball, he has to find some big epicenter, and he's also still struggling a little bit because he's still stuck at level 11. Won't have that level 2 on the F.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Ends up going down, or ends up getting a tier 2 for FTD.
This,
they just back up, but now a smoke out of the base from IG. Who are they going to catch? It's going to be the Shadow Demon. He'll get popped first, and on the other side, they found more. It's TA. Doom on the low ground. Does drop the ultimate. Now hook shot in. Oh, this TA is going to start going big, but Baboka on the backside with the disable. The follow-up stuns and FTD are out of resources. The TA, who had such a good setup, will be brought down. Does finish off the Lesh, but now coming back to life with the Aegis. 2 buybacks used by FTD. They've got a Shrine, and they want to come in to maybe turn this, but the Cursed Crown is there, and all of IG will survive. Beyond charging forward into a Sentry Ward with that Shadow Blade. They're going to turn and see if they can find this kill. Aggressive with some right clicks. Might be able to just turn on to James instead. He did use the cogs to lock him in. Raji there with the save, but it's only going to buy him a couple of seconds. Aggressive struggling to get off the right clicks, and FTD will keep most of their heroes alive despite low HP.
That was one of the most value early Lifestealer fights you're ever going to see. It was a constant ball up from the Radiant side, non-stop Radiance damage happening. He ended the fight with almost 3K damage. Had the Infest Bomb too onto the Shadow Demon to blow him up, and then that hookshot turnaround looks so good, but the Dark Willow, she has that Naga effect, you know, where it's just like, you think you have this amazing moment, and they're all clumped up, and then it's just ruined. And that got ruined real fast.
The Terrorize was on point.
Yeah, they just couldn't do anything. They're stuck there, feared, and they just get shredded. You know, you still have the full 4 seconds. It's like an AoE roar when they're all trapped inside the cogs like that. instead of them like escaping and Lifestealer not being able to chase you down, it works against them in this case because they're stuck inside the cogs and they get blown up.
Yeah. A lot of turning back and forth in that fight, but remember Aegis was in the hands of FTD. Now up top, their PL actually taking some damage, but hook shot from James breaks things up and may just cost him his own life. Maybe a 1-for-1. Illusions, not quite enough damage. 50 HP still on the Lesh, will stay standing. Now back in the mid. Raji burning down low. Aggressive will continue to chase. No hope for survival as the Radiance ticks him down and a killing spree is secured for this Lifestealer. Feels like just a moment ago he picked up this Radiance, already at a medallion.
Yep, and it will not be very long at this pace before he's into the Solar Crest too. So fantastic item in general with this build, but against two of the best heroes for it, Templar Assassin and the Phantom Lancer.
Speaking of the TA, BKB now secured and an Orchid queued up next. 12 to 12, man. This is one even game.
Yeah, it definitely is. 30 movement speed taken by the left side. Okay, doesn't want to kite it around here. Not opting for the damage. Pretty heavy damage when you go the Radiance build, I suppose. So
I kind of feel like IG are hanging in there long enough that they can start turning this game around. Like, Lifestealer is finally ready to fight. You've got that Force Staff on Sand King. They've got all the basic tools they need to find these team fights.
They didn't lose too much on the first Aegis either. They still have their mid-tier 2 and their top tier 2, so they didn't lose that jungle area, which is what it kind of looked like FTD were going to be able to posture into, but they are going to make that move now. And Leshrac can just be instantly dead. Yeah, they are going to use the hook shot, so.
Seems that'll be the case. Easy follow-up for the TA.
Oh, but at the other side, they use the Epi. They catch the PL kind of going for this like counter push area where they were trying to wrap around, connect with him, but he goes down too fast.
On the other side, could Storm Spirit maybe get caught here?
Yeah, level 1 Purge here.
Any Sentry Wards are down. They've got the Doom. That'll make it pretty easy. Okay.
Yeah, tons of damage there too, just even with the clap to help out for a little bit at the end.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the lockdown you're ever going to need. Doom and the Demonic Purge. TA now caught by the Cursed Crown. Follow-up stun. BKB, though, keeps her alive. No support inbound. James does not have a hook shot, but will rotate through. They'll actually get the counter kill onto Baboka. His teammates kind of leave him high and dry as they split into the trees.
Big pickups here for FTD. These are this moment where it kind of feels like they're in control for IG side too. Like the Aegis is down and everything, so you don't have this 5-man ball for FTD really going on. They kind of want to spread up and farm, so I think IG are the ones expecting to kind of take over here. So every single bit that they like drop in these moments is very bad for them. They, I assume, will want to just go for another infest here, and it looks like they're starting to group for it.
Thinking about smoke play perhaps. Lesh does have a couple, but instead just going to push out the lane first. Solar Crest up on Lifestealer, and Yasha coming up next.
One of the things that LGD does very well with the Clockwork too is that you'll always see FY just using the flares to constantly push far away lanes, and then that way they can stay as a 5-man unit without having to worry too much about the split push. Just like constantly keep some annoying lane going in your favor, and it's also a pretty good way to keep your farm going up on Clockwork without staying on the map too.
Yeah.
You can at least be a little bit hidden.
TA still maintaining a pretty nice farming edge over the Lifestealer, up by about 50%. PL, well, he's got a Heart of Tarask on the way. Still some farming to do, but he's beefing up. Skipping the Manta, however, so going Diffusal just right into that raw HP.
I do think that IG should be running into trouble now because historically, if you looked at this draft, you could see that maybe like spreading out and stuff for FTD would create these problems, but they actually have such good wave clear because of the Templar Assassin and the way the traps work now. Like, she was really far ahead in terms of experience, so she's well past level 18 now, almost into level 20. She has that max trap damage. She's the talent for the trap damage, so she can focus like 2 lanes essentially by herself. Fairly impressive that they've got this bottom lane pushing all the way into the tower now, as Sand King's probably going to wipe out the next one, but that comes at a cost, because Sand King is essentially their best wave pusher, but he isn't able to just like play in the fog or anything, so he's not helping to set up for infest ganks. If they want to fight, they basically need Storm, Sand King, and Lifestealer to be there.
Yeah.
And they don't feel comfortable leaving Leshrac alone to push waves, and that's pretty much what he's doing bottom now.
Yeah, it's falling quick, and with that minus armor, they will get it. Lifestealer, he almost gets there in time, actually, but Roshan falls. He's inside this Granite Ancient Golem. On the backside, though, it's the Doom that gets caught. He's going to go down first. However, they lose their Storm. Hook shot down below onto Baboka. IG just getting picked apart one at a time. Aggressive with a TP that actually works. It's a close call, but he does make it back. Now Q looks like he could get left behind. Trap slowing him down as Raji closes the gap, gets off the disruption, and TA with a meld strike will make it an easy kill. So big win for FTD at the Roche Pit. They go 1 for 3 and still have the Aegis ready to rock.
Well, at the very least, they don't have a Bloodstone on Storm. Positive thinking here if you're IG.
Yeah.
But they did get the tier 2 in the bottom lane, but losing the Aegis and the Cheese over to the Radiant side, both of them still available.
Who's got the Cheese?
Times.
PL. There it is. Yep. And now he's close to the heart.
Nice play by Doom, too. As they're finishing up the Roche, he just runs forward, tries to ensure the fight goes all right for them, just gets off the Doom, and then provides the vision for TA to clean it up.
Well, FTD will stay in enemy territory, grab some bounties, and maybe just push in that last outer tower, still a tier 2, about half HP for IG in the top lane. They're going to smoke up themselves. They've just picked up the Crimson Guard on Sand King. Well, we'll obviously add some survivability in this fight. Also, Lincoln Sphere now completed by the Storm. Smoke on smoke. Who's going to jump who? Doom gets caught first, but hook shot in the other side. It's broken into 2 fights as they trade Doom for Lesh. Now Raji getting focused, but gets off a disruption. TA with a lot of damage. Does click down the Willow. Buyback there. Now more action into the fray as the Crimson Guard is used. It's mitigating some damage as Aggressive stands his ground against the TA, but not winning this battle. It's going to be a close one. The Bedlam's there to help him finish it off.
SRF, maybe?
Aegis on the way back, but PL with a doppelganger trying to finish off the Storm. And it's going to be close. Rocket Flare will get him. Aggressive now trying to move around the trees to survive. The Roche spoils are just too much. FTD starting to overwhelm them. Raji still topped off. Drops the disruption onto SRF, closes that gap for the Phantom Lancer to get in. The Shrine, it's used. It's going to buy him a little bit more time, but it's not enough, Trent. And it's another big fight for FTD. Of course, it does cost him the Aegis, but more economic damage and the biggest lead we've seen yet this game.
Yeah, it really is just too much, honestly. Like, you can see it just in terms of the XP there. My God, they're going to gain like 4K over them. But they almost got the PL. You know, there's a big play from SRF. He comes in, stuns up the PL, but it wasn't quite enough to burst him down. So the Cheese is popped. He heals right back in there.
Yep.
And look at that dire side, too. With the buyback from the Dark Will, actually managed to out-damage the Radiant, but...
It's impressive that the Lifestealer survived as long as he did. If there was no Aegis on that TA, it would have been a much different fight. He would have had the ability to reset. The Radiance has proved a pretty effective pickup alongside the Solar Crest. You get all that evasion, especially once he hits level 20, even more so. IG can still hang on a little bit longer. Of course, no damage done to their high ground. They did lose that top tier 2 tower, though. So map control going to become a big issue as Q getting scouted out by Beyond. Walking by some sentry wards here. He'll be just fine. His BKB, 10 seconds, ready to go. And TA now with an MKB also. So that evasion I was talking about completely countered, but they catch an initiation. Follow-up fear from the Willow. Storm zips down, looking to grab Raji. It's a die back on him. But now the Sand King takes the Doom, and James grabs 2 with a nice hookshot cogs. Bedlam might turn it the other way, but up top they're going hard on the Lifestealer. He rages, but still gets brought down. 2 for 4. Storm the only one to survive as he's able to zip back to the high ground.
Yeah, a bit of a desperation play there. It kind of worked out in the fact that they were able to terrorize back TA, but their focal point was on a Shadow Demon. So that, okay, yeah, you know, you scared away our TA, and in the chaos you killed our SD, but it had to be killing the PL is like the only way that works.
Now they will grab the TA. XXS with a big mana pool, able to take them off this tier 3 tower.
That's a bit shocking.
Beyond with BKB, walks into a sentry ward. Okay, they'll survive, but 2 buybacks used by IG. Still rough.
Yeah, but getting rid of the old buyback penalty at the very least. It's, you know, Lifestealer ends up gaining gold, but Storm will still lose about 630. Both of them getting a decent experience chunk at the very least.
Yeah, much needed, I think. TA level 24, Storm the next highest at only 21.
TA game wildly out of control. What about next fight here? Still should look pretty good for the Radiant, one would think. Just kind of heading in towards the sieging high ground. Hookshot actually not even needed there. Is Raji cleans up.
Yep.
Derek Willow.
That's Shadow Poison.
Gets
It hurts.
himself 2 levels for it too. 15 and 16.
Pretty nice for this Shadow Demon. Pick proving very potent this game as he picks up the next Tome of Knowledge. Smoke up for FTD. Gonna move through the Radiant jungle. See who they'll find. Maybe this target lurks bottom. Storm, not the easiest one now that he's got the Lincolns. BKB gonna be up next. There's the Ensnare inside the Doom Belly. Looks like they'll find the Sand King instead. Still no ultimate, but they interrupt the TP. Nice use of the cogs. Fiery Sword, no options for SRF. Nice gank there.
So hard to find these juke plays in the trees and everything up against the clockwork. Just makes split pushing very difficult. And it definitely feels like the Radiant can just kind of play this out a little bit slow. They already have great vision inside that dire jungle.
Yeah.
You can see all these sentries being placed down. Solid ward spots too. PL actually breaking the trees too earlier on to help like increase the ward vision. Also TA blinked there and got stuck, but it worked out by making that ward even better.
Manta style. Lifestealer's ready.
Just needs the Octarine and we're good to go. We'll just alchemist this up here.
Yeah, there you go. AC Mjolnir. It's going to be his item progression, at least he hopes. Not sure this game will last long enough to realize either of those dreams. Double damage also in the top position outside of Roche. Never mind, turn to an illusion. You snooze, you lose. That's a bit of a heartbreaker. Well, PL will take some more illusions. Now smoke the other way. It's IG ready to catch one. They've got the surprise inside the Storm here.
Yeah, I think this is good. They do not want that fight where it's like forced around the Roche pit and everything, where the Radiant side's all prepped and ready for it. They would much rather take some sort of a skirmish elsewhere on the map. I believe the Radiant just pinged that. It's hard to tell. I think they know. Yeah, they knew.
There it is. Doom gets off the BKB. He absorbs the gank. Now the Templar Assassin just jumps in. Him and Aggressive are going blow for blow, but the Lifestealer in too deep has no way to retreat, and he will get brought down. Hookshot going to be off the mark as they try to pursue onto the Sand King. Burrow striking to the tree line keeps him safe, but if you're going to find one kill on that smoke turnaround, the Lifestealer is pretty much your dream. That's a dieback now.
Yeah, and they know that is not coming back anytime soon. So
yeah.
Now they don't really need to wait for the Aegis. In fact, it's going to be 2 minutes away anyway, so should definitely be able to get a tier 3. I would assume likely a full lane of racks here. We'll see how aggressive they want to be. They have a full ward lasting on the high ground here that was placed down earlier, so they've always known what these movements were from IG.
And there's that glyph. Orchid out on the TA, trying to lock down SRF. Now the Storm jumps in, but Hookshot going to be off the mark. James now going to have to walk in as Raji's getting focused in the back line, taking a lot of damage, but XXS runs out of mana, and now he's out of BKB, locked down by the Clockwork, stuck in the cogs. Buyback from the Lesh after he goes down. SRF doing some work here, but gets doomed pretty much right away out of Sandstorm. BKB's back for Beyond. And this is looking grim for IG. Instant buyback now from the Sand King. Tier 3 finally brought down. The TA was also killed. But Boca now going back in. A lot of chaos in this fight, and they might still hold it. The Doom gets brought down, but Boca will trade his life to secure the kill. Sand King, the lone survivor. And at this point, they just don't have the answer for the PL. Point blank Hookshot interrupts the Sandstorm. Burrow strike back up. SRF doing what he can. Ring around the rosy. Force staff back down. They actually don't have a sentry there, but not going to matter. Lifestealer's back, and
TA's pinging. She's like, listen, it's only Lifestealer, guys.
Just get the barracks. I mean, they actually haven't killed either barracks yet.
Oh, this is a nice steal, though. The Radiance Lifestealer.
FTD still with a huge advantage here. No buybacks on the 4 dead heroes for Invictus Gaming. But FTD not going to force the issue.
Yeah, I guess they just can't really do it. Lifestealer's there. He can just blow up the illusions. You're going to push way too slow. It's just the PL onto a melee barracks. He won't clean it up, so Might as well just go back and get more gold out of the jungle while we wait for Roshan. Well, there he is. TA trap revealing it to the Radiant side, so no mysteries for them.
What killed the TA so fast that fight?
I'm not sure what it was for her. She just, I don't know, she kind of baited down like really low too. Like she pulled them far out, got a bunch of kills, and then...
Both teams have an impressive amount of counter initiation. Feels like every fight, it just doesn't necessarily go with whoever gets caught first. You're seeing these like multi-hero split earths, all the AoE damage from the Lash. Storm jumps in the back line. Like a lot of ways, like these fights seem to turn into these little 1v1, 2v2 kind of skirmishes. But regardless, it'll be Roshan 3 going down for FTD. That was pretty good.
It's still a 7-second BKB as well for TA.
Wow. And a Bloodthorn. Refresher on Doom, so double Dooms. That's pretty good.
The 36-minute refresher shard, not a common sight these days. Don't have a lot of early Roshes.
Yeah, this game has been particularly early. Q, I think likely to get caught here. He does have a TP and a Ghost Scepter. Actually makes it down into the tree line. James,
No flare
not going to
available.
throw the blind hook. Okay. Q living life on the edge. But all the while, Raji and the TA, they will finish off the shrine. Nullifier queued up for Love You, Love Me.
Yeah, should be an easy closeout here. But so what happened between Game 1 and Game 2? This game, it was a very formulaic draft here from the Radiant side. Everything pretty much went perfectly according to plan. You have a Templar Assassin in the 10th pick. It has a good lane matchup. You know it's going to snowball well. You had very good Ancient stacks going from both the Clockwork and the Shadow Demon, keeping an eye on that, helping to accelerate. And all of the burden and pressure, at least to me, felt like it was on SRF, on the Sand King, to be a partner with the Lifestealer and the Storm Spirit to actually get stuff done as the game was starting. Try and find those big pickoffs to ruin this like general game plan. You know what I mean? It's pretty clear what happens. TA starts getting very farmed. She makes space for a PL, and items on him are just ridiculously effective early on with like the Diffusal and everything. And they just kind of played some dotes.
Double Nullifier going to be on the way. PL pretty close to his. TA still has some farming to do, but now the high ground siege. Backdoor protection has been broken, so even without creeps, they can still go for this. A little bit of initiation onto the TA. Cursed Crown now coming, being very conservative here. Has the BKB in the backpack, so saving it until post-Aegis. PL also in the front line. There's the Nullifier, comes out onto Lesh. However, backdoor protection kicks in for just a moment. Now the creeps make it past the threshold. Struggling to delay this. FTD just focused on structures right now. Invictus Gaming just feeling underpowered. 21K net worth lead. You can feel the difference.
Yeah, it's full-on desperation moves. I mean, he is getting those wipes and the creep waves and stuff.
I mean, it is helping delay this, but it seems like that's all they've got. They need some sort of infest initiation. That's their glyph right there. TA still with Aegis. Nice stun setup. They will bring it down. It's a good start. They pop the Shadow Demon to boot. They don't have a buyback there. He'll use it. They lose their Lesh. Now TA back alive. Doom pops the Refresher.
Yeah, threatening with Doom here, but the BKB ready on Templar Assassin now with the Bloodthorn. That Manta is used.
Lifestealer has the Rage, jumps in. Now the Storm Spirit from downtown. There's the BKB on PA, or TA rather. They lose Baboka, he buys back. Now the hook shot in, connects on Sand King. IG kind of hanging in there in terms of lives, but not able to save the barracks. Melee have been finished off, and now it's just two ranged barracks standing in mid and top.
Yeah, they just end up using the second Doom on the Lifestealer as well as the Bloodthorn to help push him back.
Yeah.
And that'll help secure the other racks there.
Brutal. So. You know, it's like at this point where FTD can almost just ignore IG and just use their spells to not give them the perfect initiation. They can't stop them from the siege.
Yeah, I mean, we're also basically facing the problem of where they can just go bottom BKB and destroy buildings.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're still holding on here. They're fighting IG.
Oh. They're going to lose Baboka. Now on the other side, Raji stunned up. They go 1 for 1. This could still be all right. James now with the double damage. Caught inside of his own cogs with a Storm Spirit Lifestealer. Not where you want to be as aggressive. Just needs that one last auto attack.
Jeez. Might have even been able to force the cheese there, as PL was nearby with no mana for the TP. I was eventually able to regen it back up, though, as he just kind of ran to the trees for the last 30 seconds.
It's like a small sign of life for IG. You know, they trade 1 for 2, but you know, you're just picking off supports. You're still not really able to pressure these cores. Double damage in the bottle of Storm Spirit. Also a Shiva's Guard. I guess maybe some potential to continue this pickoff train.
Yeah, I mean, Shiva's Guard pretty damn good this game. The TA and the PL.
No doubt. And Lifestealer, he's switched it up a little bit. Well, he can't decide. So he's partway towards the AC. Okay, had it on the Courier. Had the Basher queued up and now switched over to the Lincolns.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like itemization is just so, I don't know. At this point, you know, it definitely feels like FTD have wrapped this one up, but IG are just refusing. They're insisting that they show us how you high ground. And so I think that's what we're just going to get here. They're going to start pushing in bottom. Still another 2 minutes till Roche, though, and considering the state of the lanes, it's likely we'll just end up waiting for that unless they really just want to try and force mid and bot at the same time here. But Sand King helps keep the mid out. And many a Radiant hero are starting to gather in the bot.
Yeah. Top tower does get finished off by Illusions and the help of that siege creep.
Oh, yeah, double catapult action going on.
TA is still so nasty, though. 42 minutes in.
We're going for the smoke play finish here. End of this game. In terms of buybacks for the Dire side, we have Sand King. And the rest are gold with the timer on Dark Willow. So if they get a couple big kills, there might be buybacks for IG. But for now, only Sand King.
Zip out. Storm just clearing up Illusions and some of these creeps. Hard to prevent backdoor protection from getting broken at this stage, but the creep damage does add up. Storm level 25, so now able to drop all those ball lightning remnants. It's pretty nice. Certainly makes pushing a bit more annoying.
Definitely felt like this game was, you know, there was a turnaround chance. And, okay.
Is this the jump? They make it onto PL, but he's got some help. It's not enough. PL goes down right away, and now Doom, BKB'd on the run, does still have a Shadow Blade, but they'll grab him, and he goes down. It's a quick 2. Buyback from the PL to get into the fray. TA wants to fight, and she'll do some damage to Q as James isolates Baboka. Aggressive gets brought down. No buyback there. And even after a sloppy start, FTD will still be able to clean this up. PL is here. Buyback now from the Lesh. It is a 4v4.
Yeah, that's a great buyback from the Radiant side there.
The PL.
It's just, yeah. You just get back into it, right? Like, there's a Doom on the Lifestealer. Get back in, finish him off, because you know there's no buyback. Or I guess they didn't know for sure, did they? Because he didn't have timer. But they would have seen the AC just coming in.
Yep, nice stun on 2 from SRF. Sets it up. Storm jumps in. TA's down. Buyback now there. They'll get Raji in the back line. And this PL, not that healthy. He is BKB'd. She's still available, doing big damage to the Lesh rack, but Lesh still standing. Now they get SRF. James in the back line doing a lot of damage, and they'll finally bring down the Pony Boy. Buyback's coming if they've got it. The tier 3 falls, but bottom lane of Barracks still there. They get the stun onto James, trying to make the retreat. Lotus Orb helping out, but Storm with the BKB will just commit for the kill, and he does find it.
Yeah, TA thinking about going back in, but no way to pop the Lincolns there on Storm, so can't find her moment for the Bloodthorn.
Storm now the only one with buyback. One of these situations where it feels like the aggressive buybacks from FTD are the play to just close out this game, but they're struggling.
Yeah, they need to go Roche right now. Do not give that up to the Dire side. And, oh, well, just in case there was any concern, there's a DD, so life's going to be okay.
Sweet. Well, PA also eating a Moon Shard, so...
I don't think Dire would have contested this anyway.
I think this is going to be the nail in the coffin here, Trent.
I thought the last one was, but they just lost quite a bit of their lead. I think they lost like 6K overall.
Yeah.
At this point.
It hurt, yeah. 17K at 45 minutes certainly doesn't feel nearly as bad. In a one-team fight, that gap's very manageable.
I can't believe they were able to burst down the PL so well. That did not seem very likely. But he just got absolutely obliterated the first time.
And showing that the TA is also killable. Yeah, she died relatively fast. I was surprised. Quick pause, get right back into it. I have to say that's definitely been one of the better parts about casting the Chinese region. Feels like we've had basically no pauses, and when they do happen, it's like that, just a couple of seconds.
They got all their problems out of the way during the opens. You know, disqualifying teams and everything.
That's true.
We missed that part. We're just here for the good show.
So once again, the refresher in the hands of Doom. So double ultis there. Saw those used exclusively on the Life Stealer. Last exchange. If IG somehow managed to hold this one, that's the point where I start to believe that maybe they can turn this game around. Because they've already fought against the odds. We thought this game would have been over maybe even 10 minutes ago. And still finding these picks. As more Lincolns get picked up, it gets maybe a bit more difficult. Hex on the Storm.
Yeah, he definitely just wants to buy that. The only reason, like, you're a Storm Spear, though, so it's like your buyback is so valuable.
Yep.
But it feels like they just kind of, if they don't blow up TRPL, they just lose the fight, and they need to do it twice.
I mean, we've seen even just in this qualifier the power of a Blink Hex-like initiation, whether it's a Lion, a Rasta, just a hero that's picked up a Scythe of Vice. That's such a wild card mechanic. That is what gives you that catch to kill this PL, kill this TA. And PL has cheese. If you kill him full to 0 in lockdowns, it doesn't matter if he's got BKB cheese.
Yeah, that's how they got him last time. It was the exact same slots.
Except
he had this heart.
This time he doesn't have buyback.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's scary. That's why if IG somehow win this next fight, I believe that they could break this game open. But you can see the farm difference. I mean, even just the past, 2 minutes of free farm, FTD has outpaced them by a couple thousand net worth.
I think Raji's just going to be thinking about his PL the whole time, too. So he has the Blink Dagger on the Shadow Demon, so if he sees him initiate on, he's just going to Blink Disrupt him. And then that'll give him time for things like his BKB or his cheese to be popped.
Stalemate continues. FTD looking for their opportunities here.
I like all these Christmas lights that XXS is setting up here. Really decorating the base. It's very nice. Quite a festive lad.
This is one of the better heroes to have in this kind of a situation where you have lane creeps constantly pushing in.
Snore.
I mean, Willow basically can't do anything.
I'm bored. Come fight us. Like
I'd be bored too if I were Willow. It's working though. In comes the TA and she's down. That's the Aegis right there. Now can IG take the rest of the fight? They've killed Raji as well. No buyback as PL goes in deep. Doom's been used on Nakes. Second Doom actually gets reflected by the Lotus. He dooms himself, but Baboka gets brought down. It's still not looking great for IG as now Q has fallen. Focus on the barracks. Storm zips out. He wants to clean these up. PL still has the cheese and the BKB, but Aggressive is back. They've killed the Doom, and it looks like it might be the hold they've needed.
The TA?
There's the cheese. TA's bought back, and now she's in big trouble. No BKB. It's a dieback on the TA. James in too deep. He's in trouble. He goes down. It's a triple for the Storm, and they want PL. He's got no BKB, no TP for 3, and he is on the run. Now the buyback from the Doom. They've got eyes. Can they actually track him down? Does not look like it.
Doesn't quite find the low ground there, but they will not get greedy.
Look at that net worth nosedive there, Trent.
Time to wake up, buddy. It looks like we got ourselves a game.
Whew. All right, let me
we're in there. Yeah, put together your little cocktail. Hit up the absolutely 0 because this is absolutely a comeback game here from our boys on IG. Now this is where they just lose the next fight, but
still, look, they did no damage to the barracks. They did have to use the glyph, so that's going to be 4 minutes.
Yeah, but they don't get speed to worry about. Glyph's going to be back. These guys can't come high ground.
I'm just saying, like, that's kind of the only window they have. It's not like it was even close to defending or to taking down these barracks. Storm didn't even use his buyback. Lifestealer didn't have to use a buyback. The Doom did mess up, though. The second Doom onto the Lotus Orb, that
I think
actually
that's
hurts.
fine, honestly. I don't think that's that big of a deal. As long as you get the second Doom off, I'm sure his job is done.
It definitely would have been a lot worse if you Lotus Orb the first Doom.
Exactly.
I will give you that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
I'll give him that one.
Wow. An incredible game. And let's just glance at the net worth.
Well, I didn't think they could win these fights until Storm had the next item. It felt like he just was, you know, Shiva's, Lincoln's, and then you got this Kaya. Like, he didn't really have, he has no Orchid, so he hasn't been playing that way. You know, he doesn't have the real playmaking stuff. He's just defensive and getting, like, the stun and some damage, but
this
now
is the real turn.
Plays.
50 minutes. The Tier 1 tower finally falls.
Knock it down. Double
IG,
siege wave.
They have opened this map wide open, Trent.
Are they really going to find the 2-0?
It would be incredible, not just because they played pretty rocky during the group stage and here in the playoffs when it matters, they're upping their game, but also because this game felt insurmountable. I mean, look at that graph. It was a 23, 24K net worth lead at 40 minutes. That is a lot. Barracks down. They've been holding at a disadvantage for so long, and they've got it where it counts. The Infest Bomb.
Yeah, I mean...
And now Lifestealer is going to have a Lincoln's. Now, he wants to pool buyback, of course. It's that stage of the game, but 600 gold, and Lincoln's will be his.
This is only going to continue to slow down the game of FTD, I'm sure, because they know they're at an economic advantage, right?
I mean,
They've
dude,
taken down 2 lanes.
Right now, they're thinking, guys, 5th Roche. I mean, we can't do this without Cheese, Refresher, and Aegis. So.
Maybe a couple. You know, maybe 6th, 7th, 8th Roche. I don't know. I'm here all night anyway.
That's true. That's true. There is something about being jet lagged on your own time zone. It's an odd feeling, I have to admit.
Hey, speak for yourself, dude. I'm 4 hours behind.
Yep.
You know, the old Atlantic time zone represent.
Maritime, baby.
Woo!
Party.
At least I'm not Newfie. You know, the half-hour time zone. What the hell is that? Get a life.
That's like the most Newfie shit I've ever heard. No, we're just half an hour over.
Just give us half. We'll take half.
Is that a real thing?
Yes, they have a 30-minute after time zone.
Jesus.
So they're 4.5 hours ahead of old dear LA here. Whereas I'm just 4.
Doesn't that just make everything more difficult?
No, so like every night, like Hockey Night in Canada tonight at 8 o'clock or 8:30 in Newfoundland. You know, that's like every single time.
Wow.
It's great.
I thought there was some just kind of international code of conduct where time zones were rounded to the closest hour.
Newfies do not obey conduct. That is for sure.
All right, now we're getting savage here. Have some respect for
That's
your fellow
just a fact
mainlanders.
of life.
Well, 12K net worth, 45 to 34. Looks like this one is rolling over the 60th minute coming up soon here. Only 7 minutes away. Even a refresher picked up by TA. She is that slotted. She's like, guys, what? I'm just going to refresh my BKB. I think that's it.
She's passed the moon shard into the refresher. That is something.
That's really... I mean, I guess you get the level 2 BOTs, but you don't want to dump any of these items. You look at that Deso and think, man, there's got to be a higher value item you want there, but it increases her damage output so much. And it is nice killing buildings. They have struggled on that one. That is also a fair point. The sieging is an issue. Aghanim's Scepter on the way for Clockwork. Well, not really on the way. I guess queued up, but that would be nice. How are we doing on level 25s? About halfway there, so a couple falling short. Any cool ones? What is Shadow Demon? Demonic Purge? Damage or charges? 900 damage Demonic Purge is kind of like, ooh. But charges is also... Yeah, I would say probably the charges of Disruption. Sounds pretty fun. Okay. In a game like this. Just too many, like... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's good enough now with the constant Dispel, with like how ownage that ult is. Yeah, that one feels like a little bit of a toss-up. Leshrac, lowest level in the game. Not much changes there. I guess that lightning slow is pretty annoying, but... Do you double your Edict explosions? That's such a weird 25 talent, you know? 75 minutes in, don't worry, guys. My Edict is really exploding. It's a lot. It's a lot. But is it better than the additional slow? I think it's only good when you're like super farmed in your core Leshrac and you buy Refresher or something and you just have like double Edict going. Now that's a sight. We had that the other day too. That is the real disco ball Lesh right there. The meme before the meme. Actually, Water Willow's 25s as well. Oh, we're going to hold that thought, though. Initiation onto the illusions only. Not ideal, perhaps, but Nullifier, I guess, was reflected by the Lotus and then disjointed there by the Doppelganger.
Oh, yeah, Willow's got the 200 attack speed. Not going to happen, though. That'll be the 1.5 Terrorize, I'm sure.
In this game, definitely. We've seen so much clumping. We've already seen that be a game changer. That's a pretty good one. Here we go.
Into Storm Spirit.
Storm Spirit with the surprise. He does have an Arcane Rune on. Who are they going to find, though? They jump up to the high ground. It's the Clockwork. James will get focused first, but now on the low ground, Eon Disc keeps the Lesh alive. It's a 4v5. No buyback available. They're going to find Raji. He gets off the defensive disruption. That buys him a second, but now the Shadow Demon's down. Instant buyback there around the backside. Now the TA joins the party, getting the Storm Spirit low. He's muted. He's going to be brought down. It does have a buyback. Will choose to hold it. Aggressive, still pretty strong, but now Q brought down. Finally, the buyback from the Storm. TA falls. She's got the buyback as well. Seems like IG might be going all in. Big epicenter. It is broken up by Raji. And now the buyback from TA. FTD have the reinforcements and the superior numbers. The Dire team can't get back in the fight. All the buybacks being used now. SRF with the Lincolns. Oh my God, it's Storm from downtown. He hit her. He finishes off the TA. Now the Doom very low. Again, Raji with the reset, but it's not going to make a difference. 3 down. No buybacks for FTD, and they might have actually tossed this one away. IG come out huge.
There's a regen rune bottom. I mean, this can't get much better. My God, that ball lightning. 6,400 damage from the Storm Spirit in that fight.
Wow.
That's one of the longest Hail Mary balls I've ever seen. Not only that, but it was onto someone with refraction too, and he still manages to connect. Her HP evaporated.
Yes. Wow. So now into the Roche pit we go. This is Roche 5, the first Roshan of the game for Invictus Gaming, and it looks like they're actually going to get it. No way to contest.
I thought they were in a little bit of trouble because he didn't have bots, but not having bots ended up getting him 70% of her HP.
Wow, it seemed like it. There was a moment there where IG burned those buybacks. It's like, but where are they? There's 3 of them just walking down the mid lane.
Aggressive was holding. Like, he was doing work in there against like 4 heroes before eventually going down.
That's a moment where I am so sad we do not have instant replay because that fight was just absolutely absurd.
You just go back for it, baby. It's all right.
Storm tries to jump in, looking for someone, but not quite going to find it. They've got another 45 seconds on TA. Doom does have a buyback, but his ultimate will refresh at just about the same time he respawns. Glyph is available for the Radiant. They'll use it now. Trying to make this hold. Up top, Illusions keeping the lane pushed out. So no rat potential for FTD. How long will IG stick around for, though? Aegis up on the Lifestealer. She's in the hands of the Storm Spirit, who also picked up a Bloodstone. 14 charges. A smart choice from XXS if he does die here. Of course, he will respawn quite quick. Melee Barracks will get brought down just as that TA is respawning. IG back up, still with all the Roche spoils in tow. They don't quite level out the game, but 1K net worth. Look at that.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, I would need a breather, too, if I was the Radiant team. Got to collect my thoughts here.
I'm going to take a moment for myself here, Trent.
Yeah, okay, you go ahead there, dude. Oh, look at this. Instant admin pause. Question mark. Excellent choice. Get on them, admins. China runs a tight ship.
They really do.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You know, we were maybe a little cynical thinking about, hey, group stage into playoffs.
I mean, that was...
This has been incredible. No, this is like...
Oh, I thought you meant cynical about this game. With the
no, I just mean in the coming into the playoffs.
Oh, I love
from the group stage. But this is some top-tier Dota, dude.
Some good shit. IG Dota, they look great.
It's insane. It's like night and day. They looked so rocky.
We had the worst Team Serenity game. Because we were like, oh, who are these guys? They won the Open Qualifiers. We cast their game, and it was just like, oh, all right, Open Qualifier team. Only game they lose. Or they lose 2, I guess, in the end.
Yeah, but the game we saw, they looked real rough. And then apparently they looked like equal but opposite in all of the other games that we didn't cast that were over on the other stream.
And then we watch IG have a abysmal game to close out before heading into tiebreakers.
And then they squeak through in tiebreakers, and today they are playing to win, baby.
4th seed. Looking hot.
Beautiful.
Man, this game, everything went according to plan. I mean, And what more can you say? They had the massive lead. They had all the space for the Phantom Lancer. Like, were there some item choices maybe that could have gone better? Sure, but I didn't think it mattered because they were so far up.
I mean, I don't think TA's game could have been better.
No,
14-minute Blink, Deso, Treads.
You have to give all credit to TA. I think, like, I'm not sure. The no blade mail for James, I thought was a little questionable at times. Maybe because he was just so poor and everything, but he couldn't find that.
I guess it's kind of like blade mail or hood, and you're thinking, well, I'd really like to have a pipe in this game, but yeah, I think a blade mail could have done a lot of work, that's for sure.
But
so,
yeah, they clawed their way back.
What's Dota Plus say right now? Oh, 50-50. This game is now a coin flip.
How close was it? Oh my God!
It
look at
was.
it up
I
there.
mean, I don't know what number that
like
is.
90 something.
95. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. That's incredible. We've broken Dota Plus.
Congratulations, FTD. You broke Dota Plus. Because I think this is more on them than on IG.
IG did make the plays to hang in there, though.
Oh, 100%.
They didn't panic under the pressure. They knew exactly what their win condition was.
Basically calling them out for not GGing, honestly. Like,
well, today
I'm
you
impressed.
learned. Do not underestimate Aggressive and crew. He's got the BKB now on the Life Stealer, so a lot of match community there. And double Eon Disc. Lesh has one, and Willow just completed their second.
You do see, though, that when the fighting stops, it will always start trickling back in FTD's favor.
Yes.
Again, it's only because of the lanes and the fact that two of them are down. At least it's a little bit better now by getting the melee racks mid. But
yeah, but now that we're at the 60th minute, it kind of feels like diminishing returns. I mean, great, CA gets a little more farm.
Yeah, it's true.
She's got the complete wardrobe, and she's going to go for this butterfly. And sure, I mean...
Yeah. Solid.
Not much else you can get here. Still hasn't upgraded the BOTs, but pretty marginal gain there. How's PL looking? Pretty close to capped out himself. He's going to go MKB and then pick up his BOTs. I guess you swap out the defusal at this point. So pretty good upgrade for him. Life Stealer, he's going to go into his Moonshard now. Storm probably getting close to Moonshard territory also. But the rune control is honestly such a big deal for Storm Spirit. He's got an Arcane Rune again and did have an Invis on.
And with our pause and everything, let's get back to, in terms of like what's going on with the objectives. We have a minute and a half left on the Aegis, in case you guys were wondering there.
Yeah.
For Life Stealer. So that kind of gives you an idea as to when the rating will actually be looking to engage into the Dire. Not anytime soon, you would think. However, they are maybe thinking they could burn this thing. He is pretty alone, but that would be so dangerous.
So scary.
There's no
Once
way.
you notice that BKB is in the backpack too. You swap that over after the Aegis goes down, and you've got a scary Life Stealer right there. They will get that tier 2 tower though, so now that part is leveled out. So we're at that stage of the game where whichever team is able to win this next big cataclysmic team fight with all the buybacks, some serious crippling damage will be done. After that last one, it's like, sure, FTD lost their melee racks mid, but there's still a tier 2 standing up top. Pretty unlikely that IG would have been able to finish the game there, but with their base all battered up, with one tier 3 down, I think IG could actually go for that death push if they don't have buybacks like we saw before.
Oh, yes. Good question. What is our buyback situation? Because the Dire burnt a lot of them recently.
They're all around on the same timer, though. So 2 minutes, and everybody's going to be coming back up.
Yeah, it is very clumped. The latest one at 2:20 now for the Life Stealer.
And that's where I think the level 2 BOTs are going to start to come in handy, just so you can get back into the fights immediately with a buyback. And that was one of the issues for IG, like we talked about. It ended up being a benefit for Storm because he got such an awesome long-range zip, but generally speaking, damage. Down bottom. It's a double damage, in fact. They initiate onto Willow. Does have the Eon Disc. She'll still have a reset, but XXS goes in. They lose Maboka first, trying to finish off the Shadow Demon. It's going to be so close, but he can't quite do it. Now James locks him on the low ground. This Storm is able to zip away, but on the back side, it looks like PL
the Sand King
is doing a lot of damage. Sand King doomed twice. He will end up falling. Q also going to get brought down. Buyback from the Sand King. Looks like Storm back here going to be able to TP home. And Storm committed hard for that back line, and it just did not work out for him.
Oh my God, that Sand King, that is brutal. I don't know if I've ever seen someone get double doomed. That is not a common sight. Like, the first one wasn't even over. It wasn't even close. There was like a third duration. He's like, nah, this guy's dying. I'm just making sure.
I mean, the Sand King does add a lot of damage. You know, the Crimson Guard, Lotus Orb does mitigate a lot in these fights. The Shadow Demon will have a buyback in about 30 seconds. Dark Willow and Lesh in about 50. So they will not have buybacks for this fight, and this could be the mega moment.
It is starting to look like it's all on SRF here.
Well, XXS trying to clear out the creeps. Backdoor protection does kick in. Did somebody cut that creep wave? Where are the creeps?
They got none. They're trying to just break through it, but they don't quite have the damage, and Storm's so irritating here.
Now
He's
top
gonna zip top, though.
Is going to get close. Yeah, he has to clear these out. These lanes so close to breaking that threshold, and they actually have already. Now the epicenter comes down bottom. Phantom Lancer initiated on the Lotus Orb, trying to help buy him some time, but he falls. Does have a buyback available, but now holding it. We'll go ahead and use it, but IG have made this hold work.
They can't get these buildings. They can't do it. This Storm constantly zipping through top, zipping through mid, and Lifesteal's been sending out his Manta illusions as well too, and so they just finally all in on this Rax once again and just get another kill, forcing that buyback from the PL and trying to tilt those timers in their favor.
This is such an epic stalemate. But again, it's, I think, IG that get the advantage out of that. Sand King's buyback is a minute and a half ahead of the PL.
Oh, we're going in, baby. Whew.
I mean, they know if we kill the PL, this game is basically ours.
Yeah. SRF actually has the refresher, too, so he's going to have double burrow. I like this, too. I think he's so important because he just gets these stuns, and then he lets them go in, get these kills. Like, it's not about his actual damage at all, right?
Yep.
But he's just scouting to help provide the right sight,
also,
too.
no refresher on Doom. He will have the ultimate, but not going to have the
There's
double.
The
Here we go.
Hex.
They jump in hard. The PL's in big trouble. He does get disrupted and force stabbed back. It will cost Shadow Demon his life and maybe even the Doom, but TA in the back line does bring down the Willow. XXS running low on mana, still zipping all around. But there's a huge epi from SRF. He brings down the TA. Now the buybacks fly. FTD could still hold on to this fight. James getting very low, but Cogs breaking it up. He's able to get to the side. Illusions bringing him down, perhaps, but no. He does survive. FTD hang on, but more economic damage. IG shift back into the lead, forcing 2 more buybacks and losing only their Willow.
Yeah, the absolutely massive buybacks of the PL and the Templar Assassin have been burned.
This is so scary for FTD right now.
SRF did it. He got the Burrow Strike off, and then instantly they can come in with that Hex. This Hex has not been answered. They have nothing against it. The best they have, as you pointed out, was the Disruption, and he still goes down. And even with the second Disruption, of course, having these charges very handy in this case, but they're just doing a great job of playing into these fights. It feels like the side of FTD of just like running into the wall over and over. Just like, we gotta get these racks, we gotta get these racks. They're not even like thinking about the enemy heroes, whereas IG have kind of gotten these answers figured out.
Yeah.
They know what SRF has to do, they know what the follow-up is, and every fight is just going their way.
Relatively late Roche respawn. Still another minute and a half till the big boy's back. IG definitely want to continue to control the Roche pit. Aggressive. Uses the rage, charges in, needs to be a little careful here.
But who would expect this guy to be alone?
He does still have the BKB. He's also not alone, so it's definitely a fair call. Aggressive, living up to his name, though, just trying to bait this out.
Look at him go.
Just breaking this up, setting up the opportunity for XXS to zip in, but they don't take the bait. Very bold plays, though. Double Doom going to be available in about 20.
They do not have a gem, though, so they can't get rid of the TA trap in the pit. Oh, no, they do. Sand King has it. Okay, so SRF just needs to kind of wander over and hopefully eliminate that before it becomes an issue.
Well, you can definitely tell what IG want right now. It's that Roshan up in 30 seconds. And with the Storm, able to keep these lanes pushed out pretty well. And now he gets the upgraded BOTs.
Yeah, they'll find the TA trap now, too.
Man, that level 25 Storm talent is so incredible for keeping lanes pushed out.
Yeah, it
feels like a
saves
mini
you so much-
techies.
Yeah,
you know?
it's so much time. You know, that's the main thing. It's like, yeah, Storm can clear waves anyway, but it's just how much faster that you do it.
Yep.
0 risk as well.
Now back towards Roche.
Now, they have the Lincolns, but he only has the War Stomp on the Doom.
This is very scary. FTD will not give this up without a fight, but they definitely have to be cautious. PL, TA, no buybacks. On the Dire side, it's just the Sand King and the Willow.
They're going to sneak their way in here. I mean, I say sneak, they know, but...
Nice fear from Willow. They're going to set this up, and the PL is the first one to get caught. He is going to get a reset, but so much damage from IG. Raji goes down first. Clockwork to fall second. Doom again on the Sand King, but it might not be enough. He gets reflected on himself. He's locked down. Hook shot in after the buyback. IG still with all 5 alive.
They need this heart regen. They need to try and find their way back into this fight with the refresher, with the TA.
Can't believe the PL lived there.
Yeah, big saves coming in from the Shadow Demon.
Still no buyback on Raji for another 4 minutes, so this is a true 4v5. We've seen how important the Shadow Demon is to keeping these cores alive.
I'm a little surprised they're even backing away this much, and okay, they're going to go back in. They
It's
know
a
they have
bait.
the buyback advantage.
They want to go. There's the Infest Bomb. They jump onto the Doom. Follow-up stun. It's very nice from the Sand King and the Cursed Crown, as well as the Hex. Secure the kill on Doom. Now the buyback from him. Storm getting low. TA trying to man up. Hook shot in from James. Brings down the Storm, but he'll buy back straight away. The BOT is back in the fray as they lose the TA. Looking very grim for FTD as now it's a die back for the Doom. On the other side, they're looking for the PL, and they'll find him. James drops the cogs. It's not enough. PL makes it back to the pit. They finally got the stuns to lock him down, and that short cooldown doppelganger won't be enough. The Phantom Lancer will fall, and that's going to be a dieback on him. All 5 down for FTD, and IG might just have finally done it.
2 minutes, no PL. A minute and a half, no Templar Assassin, and they are fully aware here from the side of Invictus Gaming. They're going to march on down. What a showing. The way they just broke down what FTD were trying to do and how they could infiltrate into that line and just win all these engagements is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, there it is. The official GG is called from FTD. No buybacks to defend this death march, and they'll go straight tier 4s into Throne as IG are now 1 best-of-3 victory away from qualifying for the International 8 as they move on to the upper bracket finals, sending their opponents FTD down to the lower bracket.
That is a hell of a 70-minute comeback right there. I really just want to give so much credit to SRF. I really can't say enough. My God. I feel like there's so many Sand King games where you see this guy just not do that well to start, and then he feels like he has no impact heading later on. But SRF, he found all of these stuns. Like, that was, he set up so many plays in the end of the game. He looked like he had an Aghanim Scepter. He just kept getting 2-man stuns, 3-man Burrow Strikes over and over. He didn't die in these later engagements. He didn't even have an Eon Disc. You'd think this guy had an Eon Disc or something.
Yep.
He just lived. I can't believe it. Like, this, he deserved a double Doom. Like,
you're right.
I mean, if that doesn't tell you enough right there.
Man, that gold graph tells quite a story. What a mountain there. The dreams for FTD.
Wow.
Turning into nightmares. That's got to be a hard one to shake off.
Well, they're not out, of course.
Nope, they get another series in the lower bracket.
There is more.
And they don't have to play again until tomorrow. So now they get a break. They get to rewatch this game, figure out what went wrong.
Don't rewatch this
and,
game. And
hopefully
you let it go.
Hopefully prevent that from happening again. Kind of stunned right now.
Definitely.
IG take the 4th seed, 2-0 the top seed. Nice. So another best of 3 up next. What do we have, Trent? I believe it's LFY versus
the other team,
Team
Serenity.
Oh, Serenity. That's it. LFY versus Serenity.
That's going to be fun. Okay.
So another good series up next. So a lot more Dota 2 coming your way. Of course, the winners face off after that, and that will be the series that determines who will be going to the International 8. But until then, we're going to take a break, and then we're coming back with our panel to get into our second series.
Dig right into it.